Hey everyone, this is Tim Randall, Director of Product Management at Milyli, and today I'm going to show you how easy it is to use our product Delegate to give access to your client administrators to manage their own users, groups, matters, and workspace. So after installing Delegate, a new tab is going to be added to your system admin tabs called the Delegate tab, and we use this concept of delegate profiles. And really, all that a delegate profile is a way for you to take the users who are a member of a group and give them access to modify the users, groups, matters, and workspaces for a given client. So I'm going to go ahead and click on New Delegate Profile, and we're going to look for a group. So in this example, we're going to have our client, who is the user of our Relativity instance, Milyli Inc., and we're going to create a group called Milyli Inc. Client Administrators, and we're going to configure them to have access to make these changes. So we can see that there's one user that's a member of this group, and I've created a user, just a sample one, who we'll log into in a minute and see what it looks like to log into the Relativity instance as a client administrator. We're going to give them the ability to work with the Milyli Inc. client. Now, this is a one-to-one relationship that we're setting up here. But if you're working with a team who's going to work with multiple clients, you can add more to this list and they can perform these actions with multiple clients. From there, we have the ability to modify and change what different things they have access to work with and really customize the experience. So for example, if you have a group that's coming in that you want them to only be able to work with users, we can uncheck groups, matters, workspace, and audits, and they'll only be able to add and edit users. I'm going to keep all of these checked though so we can see what it looks like, and I'm going to click on Create. So this is going to create our profile. This is one half of the setup process. The other half is setting up all of the baseline defaults for our client. So the client in question here is the Milyli Inc. client. So I'm going to click on the Delegate Clients tab, go to Milyli Inc., and then here's where we get to set things like our resource pool, what providers available for setting up, logging in, and even which workspaces can be used as a template. So we'll select just the default and we populate these. Now, if we want to set this to values that can't be switched, so if you have several resource pools, if you have several file repositories, for example, if they get a highly available file repository by paying more, we can select that here and then mark read only. And what will happen in this case, only the ones you pick for that client will be able to be used. If we leave this unchecked, all of the ones available in these dropdowns will be available. I'm going to select some workspace templates, and we're going to give them just the new case template and the Relativity starter template. And then we have a couple user settings up here. The template user can be used to auto-populate different values for the user, such as the password provider or some of the IP settings and things like that. And we just get a list of all the users that we can search through, and the provider types. So for this one, we'll just do the default password provider. Then we have the ability to determine whether users should be enabled by default, just another layer of customization. So once I've set all of these values, I can go ahead and click Save, and we're all set. We have now made it so that our user can log in as the client admin. So I'm going to log out of my system admin account. I'm going to log back in as my client admin user. So logging in here, we can see that I have access to an existing case, the Milyli v. Milyli ECA case, and I can access that and do what I can with that. But since I'm a client administrator, I can now start taking different actions on behalf of Milyli Inc. So we see here on the Client Admin tab, because of setting up that delegate profile, I now have access to do this work here. And since we gave myself access to all of the tabs, I'm able to see all of the tabs. So there's a lot of different things that we can do. We've tried to replicate a very comfortable experience, especially if your clients have their RCA or if they're familiar with the Relativity ecosystem. It can make it very easy for them to get in here and use this. And you can really see this when we go into the different new pages. A lot of these are pretty similar to the baseline Relativity pages to just make it nice and easy to get in and get started. And as we navigate through here to groups, creating a new group is extremely simple. We go ahead and have these indicators on each of these pages saying Well, here we go. This is Milyli Inc. That's the client you're working with in case they work with multiple clients. You'll always know who you are working on behalf of. And you can see this replicated throughout the whole application. So we could do sample matter here. We can type in our number, click create, and this is going to create that matter for us. And then finally, our Workspaces tab. We'll go ahead and click New Workspace, and we get a lot of different values here for us. So we can create a sample workspace. We can pick that matter we just created, the sample matter. Here are 2 templates that we just created in the previous step, and a couple other options. So these are our defaults that are picked for us. I don't have any extra ones on here, so we have just the built-in ones, but I can select all of those. And finally, we can set who our workspace admin, which our workspace admin group is going to be. In this case, I'm going to set my own group as the workspace admin group, so that way I can get in and start working with this workspace immediately. And then upon clicking create, this is going to pop up a nice indicator, very similar to creating a workspace, that lets us know what the progress is as it's creating the workspace. It goes through all of the same actions that you're used to. And really, one of the coolest things about this system is everything that we're doing is on behalf of this user, and it's all audited. We do a couple things for convenience's sake. We create the audit in the relativity audits so that it can be looked through in the traditional manner. And we also create our own version of the audit that lets you quickly go to our audits tab, both at the admin level and the workspace level, and just see what actions were taken. What this does is adds an extra layer of security for you to deconstruct anything that may look out of place, may look weird, or may not be what you expect. And we display all of that in this nice list here where you can see some of this metadata. And if we actually jump into these, we can see what the values were. So this will include your data for your edits, for your creates, your deletes, and so on. And then of course, we have a reference ID here for the actual relativity audit artifact. So if you need to hunt that down and get additional context within the relativity ecosystem, you can do so. So that is how easy and how quickly you can set up a delegate profile, configure a client, and have your client log in and immediately start taking actions without being a system administrator. I hope you found this informative. As always, if you have any questions, you can contact us at support@milyli.com. And thank you so much for watching.